Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on structural analysis. In this lecture, we will solve one numerical on analysis of continuous beam with overhanging portion by using stiffness matrix method. The stiffness matrix method is also called as displacement method or equilibrium method. The problem statement for the analysis is as shown in this slide. Analyze the continuous beam shown in figure below by stiffness matrix method or displacement method or equilibrium method. For a continuous beam ABCD, the span AB is subjected to a uniformly distributed load of 20 kN per meter, which is acting throughout the span AB. Span AB is 6 meter. An anticlockwise moment of 20 kN meter is acting at joint B as shown in this picture. A point load of 20 kN is acting at a distance 2 meter from end B and at a distance 3 meter from span end C. A point load of 15 kN is acting at support C and a point load of 10 kN is acting at the edge of this overhanging portion CD. Now this is our original beam. Now for this particular overhanging portion CD, we can convert this overhanging portion in a moment which will be acting at joint C. It will be a clockwise moment which will be acting at joint C by replacing the CD portion. So the modified beam will be something like this. So what we have done for this modified beam, we have just converted this overhanging portion into a moment of 20 kN meter into 20 kN meter, that is 10 kN load multiplied by 2 meter this particular distance. So it will be 20 kN meter, which will be clockwise moment. So our modified beam will be something like this. Step number 1 is to determine the degree of kinematic indeterminacy of structure. Now for this particular structure, you can see here the deflected shape. The deflected shape will be something like this. Okay, so we can see here the unknown displacements here are, here we will be having theta B, that is rotation at B, and here we will be having theta C, that is rotation at C. So we will be having two unknown displacements here, that is theta B and theta C, and therefore the degree of kinematic indeterminacy for this particular problem will be 2, and thus the size of stiffness matrix for this particular problem will be 2 by 2 matrix. Step number 2 is to assign the coordinate numbers to unknown displacements. As we have theta B and theta C as two unknown displacements at joint B and joint C, so we will assign coordinate number 1 to joint B and coordinate number 2 to joint C. So the assigned coordinate numbers will be like this. We will be having coordinate number 1 at joint B and coordinate number 2 at joint C as shown in this figure. Next step is to find out the fixed end moment, assuming all the joints as fixed. So fixed end moment for AB span, it will be given by MFAB. It is equal to minus WL square divided by 12 So we can write like this. We have W is equal to 20 and L is equal to 6 meters. So we get MFAB is equal to minus 60 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MFBA will be equal to plus 60 kilonewton meter, and for BC span the fixed end moment is given by this particular formula, that is WAB square divided by L square. Just put the values here. We have W is equal to 20 into A is 2, B is 3 square divided by 5 square. So we get the MFBC is equal to minus 14.40 kilonewton meter, and for CB MFCB will be given by this particular formula, WA square B divided by L square. Just put the values. We have W is equal to 20 into 2 square into 3 divided by 5 square. So we get the value of MFCB is equal to 9.6 kilonewton meter. Step number 4 is to form the force matrix, that is F matrix. So F matrix is given by this equation, that is PJ matrix minus PL matrix. So first we will find out the PJ matrix. What is PJ matrix? Here the PJ matrix is matrix of moment at a joint due to external load, and PL matrix is the matrix of moment developed in each coordinate direction, or simply summation of fixed moment at that particular joint. So these are the external moments. For calculating the PJ matrix, we have PJ matrix is equal to PJ1 and PJ2. These two coordinates are there for this particular matrix. Now here PJ1 is the external moment which is acting at this joint B. So this PJ1 will be equal to 20 and it will be minus because it is an anti-clockwise moment, whereas this PJ2 is the external moment which is acting on the beam at joint C or at coordinate number 2. Here we have coordinate number 2 and it is 20 kilonewton meter. It is plus 20, so this coefficient will be 20. So we get the PJ matrix like this, that is minus 20 and 20. These will be the two coefficients. Now we have to find out the PL matrix. Now PL matrix will be equal to PL1 and PL2. These will be two coefficients. Now this PL1, it is the sum of fixed moment of all the members meeting at coordinate number 1. Here at joint B we have fixed moment MFBA plus MFBC. So it is the sum of fixed moment meeting at joint B or at coordinate number 1. And this PL2, it is the sum of all the fixed moment of all the members meeting at coordinate number 2 or at joint C. So we get here MFCB. Just put the values here. So we get PL matrix is equal to 60 minus 14 and 9.6. So finally we get PL matrix is equal to 45.6 and 9.6. Since we have force matrix is equal to PJ matrix minus PL matrix, just put the substitute the matrix values here. We get the force matrix equal to minus 20 and 20 minus this PL matrix, that is 45.6 and 9.6. So finally we get the force matrix like this, that is minus 65.6 and 10.4. Step number 5 is to determine the stiffness matrix by giving unit displacement to the restraint structure in each of the coordinate direction. So stiffness matrix size will be 2 by 2 like this. So we will be having 4 coefficients K11, K12, K21 and K22. So here K11 means the force developed in coordinate at coordinate number 1 due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 1. So what we will be doing in A step, and for calculating this stiffness matrix, we will be applying a unit rotation at coordinate number 1. We have coordinate number 1 as joint B, we have coordinate number 1 as joint B. At this joint B, we will be applying unit rotation, that is theta B equal to 1, assuming all other ends, that is A and C as fixed, A and C as fixed. The deflected shape will be something like this. And different coefficients will be developed or forces will be developed. So this will be K11. Here the K11 indicates this is stiffness coefficient at coordinate number 1, due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 1. We are applying unit rotation at coordinate number 1, and this K11 is the stiffness at 1 due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 1. Okay, K21, then next we will find out, first we will be finding out this K11 and then we will be finding out the value of K21. Here K21 is the force developed at coordinate number 2 at coordinate number 2, that is it will be k2 1 here, coordinate number 2 due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 1. So this term is indicated like this, k21. Here we can consider it as kij, where I figure is the point where we are calculating the stiffness and j figure is the point where we are applying the unit rotation. So for calculating the values of k11 and k21, will be applying unit rotation theta b equal to 1, will be applying unit rotation theta b is equal to 1 at coordinate number 1 or at support b, assuming all other supports, that is A and C as fixed. So first we will calculate the value of k11. This k11 will be developed here. It is the force developed at coordinate number 1 due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 1. So this k11 will be given by this equation, that is stiffness of BA plus stiffness of BC. Here we know that this support A and support C, these are fixed, therefore these two terms will be cancelled. Therefore we get k11 is equal to 4 EI theta B divided by LAB plus 4 EI theta B divided by LBC. Just substitute the values of span here, in this equation. So we get the values like this. Now we know that at this support B, theta B is equal to 1 radian. Therefore we substitute the value of theta B here equal to 1 radian. So we get the value like this, k11 equal to 4 EI by 6 plus 4 EI by 5, since we have theta B equal to 1 or unit radian, rotation. If we solve this equation, we will get k11 value equal to 1.47 EI. Next we have to find out the value of k21. Now k21 will be equal to sum of stiffness of all the members meeting at joint C, and it will be equal to 4 EI theta C divided by L plus twice EI theta B divided by L. This term will be 0 because here support C is a fixed support, so we get this value only, twice EI theta B divided by L, like this. Okay, substitute the value of span here, span BC, and we know that theta B is equal to 1 because we have applied unit rotation at joint B. So put here theta B equal to 1, so we get k21 equal to 0.4 EI. Similarly, in the next step, we will be applying unit rotation at joint C, assuming all other supports as fixed, that is A and B we are assuming it as fixed, and applying a unit rotation theta C equal to 1 radian at joint C or coordinate number 2. Now we have to find out two coefficient or stiffness coefficient here, k12 and k22. Here k12 is the stiffness at coordinate number 1, due to application of unit rotation at coordinate number 2, and it is given by summation of stiffness of member BC. So stiffness of BC will be equal to 4 EI theta B divided by L plus twice EI theta C divided by L. Now we know that this support B, it is a fixed support, so this term will be cancelled. So our equation will be something like this, and this theta B term will be cancelled. As we know that for this particular location here, we have applied theta C is equal to 1 radian. So put here 1, we get the value like this. So we get k12 is equal to 0.4 EI. Similarly, the value of k22, it will be sum of stiffness of member CB, and it will be given by this formula, that is 4 EI theta C divided by LBC plus twice EI theta B divided by LBC. Now we know that this support B, it is a fixed support, therefore the term with theta B, it will be cancelled or it will be 0, and we again know that theta C is equal to 1 because we have applied unit rotation theta C equal to 1 at joint C. So we get K22 is equal to 4 EI theta c divided by 5, and we have here theta c is equal to 1, therefore it will become 4 by 5 or 0.8 EI. So the stiffness matrix coefficients will be like this, that is 1.47 EI, 0.4 EI, 0.4 EI and 0.8 EI. Next step is to write the stiffness equation and solve this equation. So here we have the stiffness equation is K delta in equal to F matrix. Here this K matrix, it is a stiffness matrix, it is a stiffness matrix, delta matrix, it is the displacement matrix, it is the displacement matrix, F matrix, it is the force matrix, it is the force matrix. So substitute different matrices here, as we have already find out the stiffness matrix and force matrix. The unknown matrix here is only this displacement matrix. This displacement matrix will be the unknown displacements, that is theta b and theta c. So K matrix will be this will be your stiffness matrix, this will be your displacement matrix and this will be your force matrix. Now take this EI term outside of this stiffness matrix, so we get this equation like this. Now if we take this stiffness matrix on right hand side, if we take this stiffness matrix on right hand side, it will become inverse, and the new equation will be like this, that is displacement matrix is equal to inverse of K matrix multiplied by force matrix. Just calculate the inverse matrix for this particular matrix by using calculator. It is very simple to calculate this inverse matrix by using calculator, and we get the inverse matrix like this, 0.78 minus 0.39 and 1.44. These are the coefficients. Now multiply this matrix with this force matrix, we get the value of theta b and theta c matrix, that is displacement matrix. So we get theta b, theta c equal to minus 55.22 and 40.56 respectively. So we get finally the value of unknown displacement, theta b is equal to minus 55.22 divided by EI and theta c equal to 40.56 divided by EI. As we know that theta a is equal to 0 because it is a fixed support. Next step is to calculate the final end moment using slope deflection equations. Now for AB, this MFAB, it will be equal to, this MAB or final end moment MAB, this will be equal to MFAB plus 4 EI theta A divided by L. So we can also write twice EI by L into twice theta A plus theta B. Okay, this will be 4 EI theta A divided by L plus twice EI theta B divided by L. So substitute the values here, we'll get the equation like this. Substitute the value, we have MFAB is equal to minus 60 twice EI by L into theta B, as this theta A is 0 because it is a fixed support, therefore we get MAB is equal to minus 78.41 kilonewton meter. Similarly write down the slope deflection equation for BA and we get the MBA is equal to 23.19 kilonewton meter. Now we get MBC is equal to minus 42.352 kilonewton meter and MCB is equal to 19.96 or 20 kilonewton meter. The effective bending moments will be like this. For span AB it will be 39.2 kilonewton meter and for BC it will be minus 4.91 kilonewton meter, and the bending moment diagram for this particular continuous beam ABCD, it will be like this.